Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Build Show. I'm John Peitzman, JP, Certified High Performance Coach and creator of the Build Framework. I work with individuals and teams all over the world to help them thrive in their personal and professional lives. And as your host on this show, our aim is to help transform lives one guest at a time. And we do that how? By having amazing guests. And today is no different. We have with us Dr. Sean Thomas. Dr. Sean Anthony Thomas is a native New Yorker, and he is also a graduate from Brown University. While at Brown, he was the captain of the Division I track and field team, along with a champion in the indoor and outdoor Ivy League triple jump, if you can believe it. With his doctorate in physical therapy, he currently is a clinical director at one of the largest PT companies in the Northeast of America, where he's been practicing for over a decade. Outside of the clinic, Sean has competed in over 20 Spartan races, is a 5-time marathoner, a former professional dancer, and the CEO of Be More Today, which is a fitness company that provides information and inspiration to help ordinary people do extraordinary things. I love that tagline. I love the opportunity to have an extraordinary conversation today with Dr. Sean, who's coming to us all the way from New York in the United States via video technology. Dr. Sean, welcome to the Build Show.
JP, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the introduction. Great to see you. What's going on?
Hey man, you tell me, what are you excited about right now as we sit here today? What excites you the most in your life?
Man, life is exciting by itself. Every day is a blessing. I'm just happy to be living it. And as my friends say, we're living the dream. You know, we're alive, we can do things with our bodies, and anything's possible. So I'm just happy to be here with you. And again, the sun is shining. I'm just happy to be alive.
It is, and it's shining brighter now that we are together with your glorious face. And I love the love in the background. I love the whole thing you have going on. I love the fact that we're connected around the world, right? And that we're really branching out and bringing people into the fold to share their build stories, right? To share their insights and inspiration. That's what I love, as you know, about the Build Show here, is that we take the Build framework and we apply it so uniquely to everyone's journey, because everyone's journey is so unique, and the insights and inspirations that you have from your journey with Build is totally different than other people's, right? So let's dive right in. I mean, for those of you who are new to this program, I'm sure there's a few of you out there. Build, of course, is an acronym. It stands for Build Relationships, Understand the Business, Implement Strategies, Lead and Inspire, and Deliver Excellence. And all of us, whether we've officially put the Build framework into process or not, have those things in our lives, right? And have those kind of avenues that we need to navigate and make sure we are successful in. So let's jump right in to be, my friend, build relationships. I mean, if you look at your journey, your life, where you are right now, and the category of build relationships, and maybe some of the most important relationships you've either had or have right now, what would you like to share with our listeners today about the category of building relationships?
JP, my entire life is about relationships. As a physical therapist for practicing for 10 years, I meet people every single day who have issues. They come to me with ailments, physical ailments, pain, discomfort, questions about how they can get through their days. And every single day I connect with somebody. I give them hope, I give them confidence, I give them a sense of a future when it comes to them being able to go back to doing what they want to do. And every single time I see someone who doesn't know me, right? I see about, on any given day, 16 to 20 new people every single day, right? Wow. Who come to me with various issues. And they don't know who I am, right? But they come to me with issues, with problems. And the connection that we make solely based on trust, solely based on them needing a service and trusting in me to get them from their point A to their point B, that relationship by itself that grows over a 6-week, 8-week, 10-week process is beautiful for me. And I literally have the ability and the honor, really, as a clinician, to connect with so many people just like that every single day, and to see the progress, the beginning of post-op, or having surgery, or having a fall, getting into a car accident, what have you, or just trying to get back onto the field like I used to be on the field, right? Competing and wanting to get back out there and do what they have to do. Going from that initial stage to seeing the end result, being back on the field, being able to go and see their parents or their children, or being able to carry their newborn or their grandchildren. And I just love that connection and the relationship that goes through that, where I get to not just meet those people, but I end up meeting their aunts and their uncles and their cousins and their daughters and their brothers, because they then come to me and say,
Right.
look, you treated my grandmother.
It's a referral
You
business,
made her
right?
better.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You
Yeah.
made her better. So now you have to get me better too. I got to come see you too. And for the last 10 years, that's all I've done. Relationship with my patients, with my community, when it comes to the various teams that I train with. Spartan Races is one team we have here in Brooklyn. It's a running club. And literally all we've done for the last 10 years has been inspiring people to go out there and do what they don't think they can do. No matter how old you are, how big or small you are, everyone that I see can be an athlete. And, as someone who did compete D1 track and field, ran for many years, all these Spartan races and marathons, it would be a disservice to me not to inspire someone else to go out there and do it. Because if you've ever seen a marathon, I know you've been in martial arts, so you know the discipline that goes into that thing can be very, very daunting for others. But when you see someone who can do it, and then you instill in their life that they can do it too, and then they actually do it, man, it's a trickle effect, because then someone else sees that person and then they want to do what you're doing, and vice versa, and so on and so forth. So relationships, the B for this project, for your build, it's so fundamental to what I do as a therapist, because all I do every single day is continue to build relationships from different tiers, and it continues to go on, hopefully, from generation to generation.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And if we pull back the curtain a little bit more, right, and we look at the past and kind of what's brought you to where you are today, and I'm not putting you on the spot to pick one, right, because you can't really say, oh, this is the most important relationship. But if you had to say, like, maybe just one of the most important relationships, right, that might be with family, that might be with a coach, that might be with a mentor, it might be with yourself, it might be with God, whatever that is. But what would your answer be to what's one of the most important relationships for you personally, notwithstanding everything you said, which is amazing about the clinic and what you're doing every single day to build relationships, but that has really impacted you in a positive or negative way, but that has impacted you and made you who you are today on your journey so far?
I'm gonna tell you, I appreciate my parents very much. I'm blessed to have two parents who instilled in me that I can do anything I put my mind to. From the very, very beginning, my father was a track star back in the day. He instilled in me that you can do anything you put your mind to, that we're talented to go out there, and first place is always the goal. Second is nice, third is okay, but first place is always the goal. And if you're a Thomas, which I am, we represent. You put some respect on our name, get to go out there and get that thing done. My mom, same thing. Education was her biggest thing. As a teacher, as a former teacher, she retired now, but education for her was the biggest thing. And those two people in my life really instilled in me so much drive to really go up there. And although I've had setbacks, I've had failures, I've had issues, I've had so many things that have happened, surgeries, what have you, failing my board exam 11 times, which you probably wouldn't even know, right? All the failures that come with that. But those relationships that I had with my parents, and still have to this day, grounded me to the extent that no matter what I continue to see as a person, as a therapist, as a father, as a man, I can get through those things because my foundation was so strong and is so strong because of those two people in my life, my mom and my dad. So yeah, my parents, they instilled in me so much confidence, so much strength that I think a lot of people today still have an issue with. No matter how old you are, it's hard to be confident when things are not going your way, when there's competition on the rise, when there's so many issues that you combat with. Just as people in this world, right? Forget like all the stuff you have at your job, but just living as a human being on earth, right? There's so many things you have to face. My parents really instilled in me so much confidence, and the relationship that I have with them is just so strong that it can never really be broken, no matter what goes on.
What a fantastic foundation. And mom and dad, if you're watching, congratulations, you raised an amazing son. So well done. Let's move on to you now. Understand the business, right? There's so many understandings you have, right? Whether it's in the PT space, physical therapy, or the sports, or the Be More Today, where you're helping people, do it. I love, by the way, to kick this off, they say, understanding the business, you should have a good tagline that's really clear. I got to tell you, yours is one of my favorites. It's so catchy. It's so there. It's like a company, right, that helps provide information and inspiration to help ordinary people do extraordinary things. I mean, it's just right there, right? And you kind of said it before. Everyone can be amazing. Everyone can be an athlete. Everyone can do what they can do. But in this category of understanding the business, I mean, what is something that you understand, across this category that you think is the right thing to share with the listeners out there today?
No, JP, I love your book. I read it and I really gravitated towards a number of things, a number of concepts in the book. The ABC concept, I think, was big for me, right? The action, benefit, challenge concept. And I recognized for me that as a therapist, as a clinician, as a healthcare provider, when it comes to if you break something, if you hurt something, I got that down pat. For me, understanding the business is really about the business of physical therapy, the business of healthcare, the business of putting whatever book I've written, right, whatever thing we're doing in terms of our swag, whatever, and putting that into a business, right? Because anyone can say they want to do anything, right? You can say,
Right.
oh, I want to sell this, I want to provide this thing, this service. But to make that into a business is different. And I'm not gonna lie to you, we're not taught that in school, right? No one ever sat here and taught us how to do business things. I took various classes in high school, right? When it comes to economics, I got a C+ in economics in high school. I remember that vaguely. Did not do very well with economics in high school because I wasn't gravitating towards it. I was really like a science guy. So you have this science guy who comes out and can teach you all kinds of things in terms of what you do for your body. But when it comes to actually doing the business, right?
Yep.
Going out there and actually helping people and talking about the finances and the KPIs and the net
And the
loss
marketing and the
ratios.
this and that, right?
Yeah. Those things I did not know at first. So I had to find people who knew those things. I had to gravitate towards people who were in the industry like me, who had done the research that we weren't taught. And I gotta say, it's somewhat of a disservice to healthcare professionals because a lot of us come out here, MDs, PAs, etc., wanting to give more, wanting to do more. But there aren't a lot of platforms for us to learn these things unless you go to business school, unless you do something that's going to be extra. It's not included or even calculated into your profession or your education as a healthcare provider. So for me, I had to really go out there and seek out people who I saw who were doing things, people who work for my current job, or people who've been out there for years ahead of me, shadowing them, asking them questions. I mean, the whole purpose of me doing my podcast, the Be More Today show, is to bring people on that I can learn from.
Right.
So that I can be more by listening to them, listening to their stories, their challenges, their pitfalls, their highs, their lows, and learning the business from their perspective as well to see what I want to do for my own business. There's a guy named Darren Palmer, actually our publisher, who always said, look, you're going to write a book? Great. But that book has to be a book to business road. And if you're going to write this book, there's going to be a journey to you go from writing this thing to it being something that's going to be bigger than just a book. And I got to tell you, JP, he was absolutely right. There have been so many people I've met during this process on this road that I've taken tidbits from various podcasts, even like your podcast, right? Listening to these podcasts and just taking out tidbits and information and using those things to continue to develop and understand the business of healthcare, to be a clinician, marketing, KPIs, all these different things. And seeing for me, the ABCs, what I had to know and do to get to where I am now and where I'm going. It's just been really, really amazing recognizing how much we can learn from other people if you just ask the right questions. So I gotta say, asking the right questions is key, but making sure that whatever you don't know, not faking the funk, but go out there and really asking to see what you need to know to get to where you want to be.
I love it. And you're already demonstrating through your answer too, that centrifugal looping of you go back to B then. You don't understand the business. What do? You build relationships with the people who actually understand that, right? You use the ABC, the action benefit challenge, to actually take action and make it happen, right? Which leads us obviously to implement strategies, right? So I know you've implemented a lot of strategies in your life and different aspects of your life, but what's one thing about implement strategies that you'd like to share with the listeners today?
Now, you said in your book, JP, that actions speak louder than words. And it's true. We know this for a fact. It's not a new thing. It's something that we talk about consistently over our time. I'm someone who has always been a leader. I've led through so many things. But when it comes to implementing strategies, it was tough for me. I needed some kind of a framework. And as a kid, I don't even know how long I was doing it, but I always set my starts, my stops, and my goals for every single year. I know some people are not about resolutions. I clearly am, only because I think that having a template of what you want to do is necessary to see where you want to be, any kind of plan, right? So for me, the strategies that I've been using for my heart, right, were Project 40. And Project 40 for me is this challenge that we do now every year, where it's 40 days of you just really trying to figure out what you want to do for this year. And I have this program where I take you through these steps of greatness. pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and termination. And these different phases, whatever you want to do, if you want to start something, you want to start losing weight, you want to start writing a book, you want to stop a bad habit, whatever it is, it takes you through these stages to get from A to Z. For me, that's a strategy that I've been using for myself. And my podcast now, which is heard in 50 countries and all these different downloads, I put it out there for others to hear, but really, JP, it's really for me.
Yep.
I really sit there and put these things in place for myself. So I know what I'm trying to do for my business. So I know where I'm trying to set my flag when we put this thing down, hopefully by the end of this year, right? When it comes to the brand and the logo and the capital we're trying to raise for this funding, for this project, I do these things for me. And people say, oh, you're inspiration for us, and we appreciate it. But really, JP, it's to keep me grounded, right? The marathons that I run, it's to inspire others, but it's really to keep me grounded. Because if I don't have a goal to practice for, I might not do anything. I might just sit here on my couch and just hang out. But knowing that I have Chicago Marathon in October, knowing that I have, these different races happening in Puerto Rico and in other places this year, keeps me on my grind for my workouts, keeps me on my grind to make sure that I can't slack off because I got things coming down. So for me, when it comes to strategies, it's all about making sure that there's a template that's set. Because if I don't follow that template, even for me, for my patients, I give them things to do every time they come in to see me for their therapy and what have you. And it's fantastic because they listen to what I'm saying and they see improvements. I need that same thing. I need that same template, whether it's my book, whether it's the build framework, whatever it's going to be. But for me, having a strategy to do those things is crucial. And the reason I love it so much is because I practice what I preach. If I say that you guys have to go out there and do these things, I do them myself, right? If I have to say go out there and drink water because it's great for you, get your half your body weight in ounces of water every single day. If I'm saying to you do that, you better believe I'm doing that myself, right? If I'm saying this is the workout for today, best believe at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm doing that same thing myself. So implementing strategies for me is not just about saying it, it's really about doing it and being it. And the whole thing about Be More Today is making sure that you don't just talk about it. You got to be about this thing. No excuses, no handouts. It is just you versus you. And whatever you have to do to get that strategy to be in place, whether it's Project 40, whether it's the build framework, whether it's having your things set up every single week for your goals, your starts, your stops, whatever. For me, whatever I put out there, Be More Today, is what I go by because that is what inspires me to continue to stay great.
I love that. And it's all about, like you said, not talking the talk, but acting the act, right? It's like actually walking the talk, and it comes down to action, and you already did that segue there so beautifully and articulately, which is then that leads to leading and inspiring, right? Because when you have those actions in place where you're implementing the strategy to help you be your best self, that naturally, and you even said it in some of those strategies you said, like running the marathon, yeah, you're doing that for yourself, but actually it's inspiring people as well, right? It's leading as well. So that goes right into the L category of lead and inspire. And what more do you have to say now that we gravitate into leading and inspiring and how to really take that to the next level?
JP, I think a lot of people get caught in social media with all the accolades, right? There's so many things we look at when we look at social media, all the likes, all the subscriptions, all that stuff. It's all great. And I'm not saying I don't like people liking my pages, please go on my page, go on your page and like those things, fantastic. But what we never really talk about or never really highlight are the challenges, are the pitfalls. I like in your book that you wrote down all the things that you did not do well at, right? You wrote down all the things that you struggled with, whether they were personal, interpersonal, whatever. You wrote those things down and laid out a framework saying, look, there is success, but there's also failure in that. For me, I'm someone who failed my board exam 11 times. Now, I use that as inspiration for someone else because if you look at me, if you know me, whatever, all you see is things going well. You see someone who's doing well, they have this life, they're doing all these great things, and it looks like a lot of up. But I think a lot of people, especially today, lose track of the things that are happening on the other side, on the back end, the things that are not being showcased, the things that are not being put at the forefront. So when I talk about Be More Today and the things that really get me to a place where I'm leading and inspiring, I don't always lead with the great things. I don't always lead with the marathons and the Spartan Races and the book and the podcast. Those are great. I lead with the pitfalls. I lead with the fact that I failed my board exam 11 times over a 4-year period. I took my national board exam 11 times, 3 times a year for 4 years straight. Now, JP, I went to the best schools in the country, right? Brown University, Short Rosemary Hall, all these different schools, right? Great GPA, no issues in terms of anything, didn't need glasses or anything, nothing. But I got to a point where I recognized that I was not getting over this hurdle. And there were moments, years in my life where I said, yo, what is this? What is this roadblock? How can I continue to help people out when I'm struggling here to get through this thing? And I recognize now, of course, everything in hindsight is great, right? Hindsight is always 2020. And even in your book, you talked about some of the things that you saw now that are 2020 vision for you. But I recognize that my journey was because someone else also was going to go through that same journey. And I knew that I was strong enough to not quit during that journey because I knew what I wanted to get. I knew what the end result was. The end result has always been to be a doctor of physical therapy, always been to go out here and help people in this profession. And I'll tell you, I took that exam 12 times. I passed on the 12th time. That 12th time, if I had not passed that exam, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. Maybe McDonald's, Burger King, I'm not really sure. I'd be doing something different because I did not have another chance to take that exam ever again. But what I learned from that experience over 4 years is that our resilience is greater than we can ever imagine. Our strength, our ability to overcome adversity, our ability to make sure that when we have to rise to the occasion, whether it's on the playing field or on the academic field, we can do those things. And sometimes we just need a little bit of adversity to get us to be able to go through the pitfalls and prepare us for the other thing that we're going to see later in life. Every time I go somewhere now, I say the same story. And people are always encouraged because they too are struggling with various tests and whatever else that they're going through that they may never share because, again, social media does not really give you a space to put out there the things you're not doing so well at, right? But people, every time they hear that, say, you know what? If he can do it, so can I. And just like I talked to you about the marathons and the Spartan races, it's those same things. If they can do it, so do I. So I lead and inspire through that. I lead through, yes, all the ups and all the highs and all the accolades, but I also lead through all the issues that I've gone through, all the tests and trials that I've gone through, because I know that if I don't share those things now, someone else might miss out on that same experience and will also miss out that they too can get through it if they just take one more test one more time, or one more race one more time, or just try that one more thing one more time. On the other side of that thing, there has to be victory. So that's how I lead and inspire every single day, putting out the positive and the negative and making sure people continue to be cognizant that they too can get through it if they just never give up.
I love that, 100%. I mean, focusing on the failures as well, so important. So, because you're right, so many people miss that, right? They only look at leading and inspiring, even in their own lives, of, oh, I have to be first place, I have to do this. And they don't see the power that you just articulated so well of failing, right? And pushing through. I mean, I don't know the numbers, I don't have it memorized, but there's a quote from Michael Jordan that talks about how many times he missed the last shot of the game, right? How many times he was given the opportunity. And he said, it's because, I'm paraphrasing, but it's because I failed so often that I'm truly a success, right? And I think it's so true, right, in all that we do. So thank you for sharing that. That leads, of course, to delivering excellence. I mean, what is excellence for you, and how do you deliver excellence every day?
JP, I say it simple. I always say next level results require next level effort. And whether you're talking about treating someone on a table or being someone who's running on the track, anyone can do anything, right? You can be a therapist. You could be a therapist. I could be a podcaster. I mean, I have a show clearly, but we can all do anything that we want to do, right? And we can probably do it okay. But excellence, that's different, right? I have a clinic that I run. There are about 35 employees that I run. And everyone that I hired is great, right? Everyone can do their job adequately. But as people always say, there are levels to this thing. There are levels to how people do things, right? And excellence is that thing. If you get hired for a job, you must be pretty good to work at that job, right? But when it comes to excellence, again, this goes back to the B. My parents instilled in me that we have to be excellent in whatever we do. I don't care if you are the CEO of a company or if you are the last person on that line. Whatever you're going to be doing has to be excellent. And you have to do it because your name's attached to it, for one, because people are watching you always, for two, and because no matter what happens, if you're doing something, you have to do it to the best of your ability, whatever it is. That's what it was instilled in me from the beginning. And I continue to live that life through everything from academics to my track and field career to even now. These races are not mandatory. No one's saying, oh, you have to go out there and run a marathon. No. I choose to do these things now because I want to excel in everything. And I want to excel in everything to the extent that when my daughter looks at me, right? She's 7 years old now. When she looks at me and she's 17 or she's 21, she sees daddy was a podcaster. Daddy had this business. Daddy ran this company. Daddy ran these races. I want her to think, man, my dad was great. He never backed down from any challenge. And he was always doing things with grace and excellence. I want to do the same thing. And that's why I live my life, JP, because I really, truly believe that excellence is not something that everyone is made for, but it requires next level effort. And again, because I see so many people who have issues and have ailments and can't walk, can't do what they want to do, have had surgeries and now aren't able to see properly, their balance is off. And all they wish, JP, all they want to do is something that all they want to do like martial arts. They want to just go out there and get back to their life, right? Get back to whatever brings them the most joy, the most excitement in their life. But they can't do those things anymore because something happened. I see that stuff every day. So I say to myself, man, why am I so blessed? Why are you so blessed that we get the opportunity every single day to wake up and do what we love to do? If I still have that opportunity every single day, I can't squander it. I have to go out there and make the best of it. I have to go out there and be the best version of myself every single day because I still can do it. And I'm going to continue to do it until the wheels fall off. I mean, LeBron James said it, right? He scored 54 points a couple months ago in the game, right? And he said, you know what? As long as I'm still here, as long as I'm doing my thing, I'm going to rock out because I still have the blessing. I still have the gift. I still have the ability to get this thing done. And as long as we're still breathing, the sun is shining, wherever we are, it has to be that way. We have to continue just to be excellent. But again, like I've said before, there are levels to this thing. And some people don't want to put that extra effort in. They don't want to put the extra 2 cents in. They don't want to do things when people are not watching. They only do so when people are watching, right? And so when it comes to coaching, as coach, and we have awards, right? Coaches Award and whatever else that you give to your students that do what the coaches would deem as the best behavior or the best thing that is in light of what the coaches would believe. For me, I've been a captain of every team I've ever been on, right? From high school to college, what have you. I was always the captain. So when it comes to excellence, it's ingrained in me. I expect it. I expect it from my athletes. I expect it from my patients. I expect it from my daughter. I expect it from anyone who's around me. Because if you're going to be around me, you got to make sure that you're coming with it. And you got to make sure that whatever you're doing, if your name's on it, it has to be great. So excellence is not just something that we talk about or that I talk about. It's something that I live.
Right. And I can feel it all the way across the ocean in Australia. You're motivating the masses, my friend. I feel it coming my way. And you're right, man. You live it. You are it. And because you expect it, you get it, right? So it's all about, making sure that we show up as our best self. And I love the fact that it's next level, needs the next level, right? And it's kind of a never-ending journey and always showing up and expecting the best of yourself, of others, and just not, taking adequacy, for something that can be in your place instead of excellence, right? And just kind of, so many people get just comfortable in life, right? They live what we call in high performance kind of the comfortable life from the caged life, right? Which they get out of, but they don't get into that charged life, which is what you're talking about, right? Which every day, and I'm like you, feeling blessed every single day to show up and wake up to be able to do what we are able to do and are so lucky to be able to do. So thanks for sharing that. Any final words of wisdom that you would like to share with the masses out there that are listening to this across the ocean and across the world?
Everyone continue to go out there. Failing forward is not a bad thing. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're trying to achieve or strive for, you can be great. You can be more today. And the whole thing about being more today is not even about doing more, right? Just going out there and just being more thoughtful, more conscious of what you're trying to do, more aware of your surroundings, more aware of that you have something that you want to get done. Maybe you're not ready to do it yet, but you're at least thinking about the process. You're thinking about what you have to do to get ready. You're thinking about your feelings about being ready. Whatever the case is, don't focus on what you're doing. Don't focus on what you're not doing. just focus on just being more present, being more cognizant, and being more aware that you can have this day to go out there and be great today. No matter what it is. If it's 1 step, 2 steps, 5 steps you make, progress is progress. It's a daily journey. Trust the process. And as I always say, be persistent, and you too can be the best version of you.
Love that. And if people want to know more about this or get a hold of you personally, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can check our website, bemoretoday.com, or you can see me on social media. I am at Dr. Sean Thomas on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. bemoretoday.com has everything from my book, our podcast information, our swag store, and of course, inspiration and information for physical fitness, physical therapy, and all things related.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. I wish we could talk longer and all day. We will talk longer, I'm sure, after this, and stay connected for sure. Thank all of you for joining us here as well. For more great resources to help you become your best self, including free worksheets and downloads, make sure to check out thebuildframework.com. That's it for this episode. I'm JP. We'll see you next time on The Build Show.